In today's episode, we are going to get real about what is holding you back from having the website design career that you always dreamed about. Because trust me, it's not a case of you need to learn new design skills or you just need to get over this or you just need to get that project out the door. Most likely, what is stopping you right now is you. And we are going to get to the bottom of it. You ready? Let's get started. Hello and welcome to another episode of Websites Made Simple with me, Holly Christie. I am a website designer, website designer's mentor, host of this podcast, and I am here to help you have an absolutely brilliant website career without self-sabotaging along the way. I will admit that this episode has been completely inspired by my mentees through my Sparks group mentoring program and my Phoenix mentoring program. And the reason that these two programs exist is because there are website designers out there who really want to get to the next stage of their career. And they're just hitting the same boundaries over and over again. And that's usually a money boundary. And it might be a case of you're turning over the same amount of money year on year and you think, but I'm busier than ever. I'm really putting my marketing in there. I'm showing up on LinkedIn. I'm guesting on other people's podcasts. I'm doing everything I can. Why aren't I earning more money? And there's a lot of reasons that come into this. And I mean, the main one really is money mindset. And it can be really difficult when leveling up because there's that expression, if you want to have something you've never had, you need to do something you've never done. So often we think that means a skill set. We think that it means we need to learn to code a bit better or design a bit harder or slicken our processes. And yeah, that's all great stuff. And if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know that I always work to best practices and I absolutely implore you to do the same. So yeah, do all of those things. But one of the things that we often haven't done is allowed ourselves to really get to grips with what leveling up, what dreaming big for our businesses really means. It starts with us and everything else comes back from here. Now, I know that you are just one person listening to or watching this podcast. So if I say hands up, if you have done these behaviors or think that you may have done these behaviors, I'm not going to see it. So you don't have to put your hand up. But do listen out and tell me if any of these sound like you. Dropping your prices while you are mid-call or mid-email, just mid-discussion with a client. So it could be that you've quoted a figure that you would really like to earn from this project, but you are a little bit uncomfortable because that figure is a bit of a stretch for you because you've not earned that before or you've not charged that many times. It could be that you've just leveled up to charging £3,000 for a website and you quote that to the client and you say, yeah, but if you sign up today, I will knock £500 off it. Let me know if you have done that before a client has even had a chance to speak, before they have had the chance to consider the amount or say anything. Because I know I've done it. I know that I've done it completely unprompted, where I've really liked the client and I wanted to work with them, or I felt uncomfortable about the figure. And I know that a lot of people who I have mentored have done the same. And the first thing I want to do is to encourage you to put the price out there and pause. Because when you create that space, you create the space for the client to consider it. Remember, this is the first time that they are hearing that figure. And this isn't necessarily going to be a big figure or outside the realm of what they were thinking of. Just pause. It gives them some space and it stops that nervous energy with you. Because within that pause, you get the opportunity to say to yourself, I would really like to earn that from this project and my work is worth it. So pause. And then wait for their reply. Now, this could be that you're doing it over email, so you naturally do have to wait for a reply. Could be that you're doing it on a Zoom call, and their reply might be something that's along the lines of, yeah, that's great, but it was a bit more than I was expecting to pay. And you have the opportunity to pause again. And rather than drop the price, say, I appreciate that. And I appreciate that you may need to think about it. What I can say is that that price reflects the quality of work in the website that you're going to get at the end of this. But have a think about it. Let me know. I look forward to hearing from you soon. We don't want to force people to work with us. But having that pause actually just removes that nervous energy, because when you have that nervous energy, people pick up on it. And when you pause, when you take a breath and remind yourself, you've earned your seat at the table. Even getting a client onto a call, not every website designer can do that, or they don't do it comfortably. So just pause and wait and charge what you're worth. Don't undercut yourself, and certainly don't undercut yourself immediately. And one of the things that people in any industry can really suffer with, but I'm going to say particularly in the web design industry, because that's who I work with, is when you're leveling up, year on year, we want to be making more money because, well, we do. We want it to reflect our experience. We want it to reflect our work. We want to meet the inflation rates, all that sort of thing. So we want to earn more money. But there's a difference between earning a bit more money because we're increasing the prices of our payment plans, or we're doing more websites so we're getting more people there on payment plans. And if you don't have payment plans for website hosting and maintenance, then you're really missing a trick, because it's great recurring revenue and it keeps your clients on your client list as well. So when they need some rework on their websites and stuff like that, they naturally come to you. And if that's something that you haven't explored yet, and that's something you would like to explore with me, then just drop me a line at hello@websitesmadesimple.co.uk, or come and find me on LinkedIn at Holly C. Christie, and we can schedule some time together and I can walk through what would feel like some good options for you to get that started. When we're looking to level up, we're looking to level up and make quite a lot more money. So not just increasing the prices of our payment plans, it could be that we are doing big jumps with how much we're charging for websites. It could be that we are hoping to produce more websites each year. It could even be that we're starting to work with some white labelers so that we can pull in some more work and get more websites out there. Often, what's really stopping us from this is us. We've never earned that much money before. So essentially, we think that we don't know how to. And it's where so many people get stuck at a certain figure within their business. And it doesn't matter what they do, they don't seem to be turning over any more money. And it's because they've got that mindset block of they don't know how to do it. They don't know what it would look like to have X amount of more money in the bank. And the ways that we do this, it's never a conscious thing, because obviously we all want to hit 6 figures. Some people want to hit 7 or 8 figures, but we all want to have that really comfortable lifestyle, and we all want to feel really well rewarded for our work as well. And so the ways that this can show up is that we can really bottleneck within our businesses when it comes to money. You have quoted for a website. Let's use that £3,000 figure again. You've quoted £3,000 for a website. The client's agreed to pay £3,000 for a website. And immediately in your mind, you think, right, I have earned £3,000. In theory, no. It means that you now have £3,000 coming into your business. This is assuming, that the website makes it all the way through and, the client pays up willingly for it at the end and everything runs beautifully on time. And when that's done, there is £3,000 in the business. But this is not a solely earning amount of money. Yes, you should be taking a salary from your business, but your salary shouldn't be dependent on every bit of money that goes in there, because we can find with web design, because you can run it on quite a scrappy setup. I mean, essentially all you really need is a laptop, some hosting and a license for a good theme. Or, if you're a really techie dev, you don't even need to pay for a theme license there. And off you go. It's really easy to think that we don't need to distribute money any other way within the business. We pay our hosting fees, we pay our theme fees, pay your insurance fee, and you're kind of there. But actually, in that same way that you need to spend money to make money, and rather than spend money, I'm going to say you need to invest money to make money. This is the same. So when you bring money into your business, when you earn it, what you really need to think about is what is the best way to distribute this? How is this going to serve the business so that I can go on to make more money? Blogging is still the number one way of getting your website found by Google and by your ideal clients. If you've tried blogging before and it hasn't worked, you're about to find out why. Join me, Holly Christie, SEO legend Nikki Pilkington, and AI developer Kane Mitchell for an online blogging masterclass. During the 2-hour session, you'll learn how to find the right keywords to include in your blogs, the search intent, how likely someone is to engage with you once they've found your blog, and where in the buying cycle they are, how to structure it for search engines, for real people, for mobiles, and for accessibility, and how to use AI effectively to shorten the process so it's not all-consuming, and I promise you it's not just a ChatGPT prompt. The workshop is online on Tuesday the 2nd of June from 12 to 2 p.m. It's £49, and you'll also get the replay and bonus materials to help you to get more from your blog. So if you're ready to finally create content that works for you and your clients, come and join us. You can register at websitesmadesimple.co.uk/masterclass. That's websitesmadesimple.co.uk/masterclass. I was discussing this in our group mentoring session yesterday with one lovely mentees who was saying that one of her roles, and you'll know this well as a web designer, is that a particular client wanted an image overlay on every image, and it had to be a gradient, and the gradient had to run in a certain direction. And so this web designer was using Canva to do that. And across the website, there were maybe 30 or 40 images. And she was saying, it's just, it's repetitive. It's not a waste of time, but it's not a good use of a website designer's time. So we explored about what it would look like to use a VA to do that, and the reality of how much that would cost for a VA to do that. And I've got a brilliant VA. She is really good at design and stuff like that. It would probably take her an hour to do those, to deliver that. And that would cost me, I think, £38 for the hour. If I handed that over to her, that gives me an extra hour to be running a mentoring session at £150 an hour, to be running a website clinic at £150 an hour, to be working on a website build, to be doing marketing, to be pulling in more business. So it is not worth my time or saving £38 to do those kind of work myself. As website designers, because we have that skill set, we often forget that we don't have to do it. Just because we can do it, we don't have to do it. And actually, if we outsource some of this stuff, we are actually supporting another freelancer as well, someone else within their own business. They're supporting us. It's a good two-way arrangement, but it also frees up the time for us to use it where it is more valuable. A lot of the time, website designers will bottleneck in their business when it comes to money, when it comes to work like this. And trust me, I've been there. I've done it myself. One of my really good friends, Ali, she came over a couple of years ago and we were talking about work. And I was saying about, I do all of this during the day. And then at night, once I put the kids to bed, I'll get out the laptop and then I'll start working again. And she said, how many nights a week do you do that? And I said, 5, every work day. She's like, how many hours are you doing that for? I said, well, probably about 3 or something. She said, so you're essentially halving your hourly rate. And I said to her, no, you just don't get it. You don't have your own business. You don't get that we have to work around the clock. She's like, no, I do get it. I've watched you run your own business for over a decade. I do get it. You're absolutely devaluing your time. And when I really stopped and thought about it, I also thought that when I was working in the evenings, I'm not nearly as productive, particularly when it comes to design. It will take me a lot longer to do something that actually, if I was just properly rested, I'd be able to blast out the next day as well. It might be a case of I was also doing jobs that weren't serving me, like the stuff that a VA could do as well. And I had become my own bottleneck within my business. And it meant that I actually went on to work with some mentors as well. And we streamlined parts of the business. We just tweaked things. We changed some pricing. We got some VAs on board, and it absolutely revolutionized stuff as well. And you know what? The more that I spent out doing this, the more that I was like, right, I'm going to book 5 hours or 10 hours a week with a VA. I'm going to book this, that, and the other. The more money I actually ended up turning over in my business, the more I earned from it. but also I was happier with it. I went on to earn a lot more in my business than I had ever earned with it for that. And I learned really to get out of my own way. Yes, I can do everything in my business. Should I be doing everything in my business? No. Do I want to be doing everything in my business? No, not at all. And it's really about that letting go to be happy within your business, letting go to give some time back for yourself, and understanding that just because you work for yourself, it doesn't mean that you have to work every hour that there is yourself. I mean, the beauty is to really create a business that still runs without you, that you can step away from, that you only get involved in the bits that you want to, that you only design the websites for the people that you want to as well. So if there's any message I can give you is get out of your own way, stop bottlenecking your business, and have some faith and confidence in yourself that you can do this, that you can earn a really good salary and you can be really happy in your business. And if this is something that you would like to explore with working together, then I would absolutely love to hear from you. Drop me an email at hello@websitesmadesimple.co.uk. Come find me on LinkedIn at Holly C. Christie. And yeah, I'd love to help you have a better business. So until next time, go and have a look, go and see where you're the bottleneck and what you can do about it.